In my last video, I went over how to create a top N item ranking of subcategories with an others rollup of the remaining subcategories for each category partition, but for time series analyses, the top items in each week can change over time if the calculated fields in the last video are used. So the objective in this video is to be able to fix that subcategory item selection based on the products you want to keep and focus on for your analyses, or the top products found in a 1 year time span to output sales for each item on a weekly or daily basis. So if you want to look at 2 products for each category, or even 2 products in the first and 4 products in the second category, you can. And as you can see here, the same subcategories are present for each month. And there are 2 products in the furniture category and 3 products in the office supply category to show that the distribution within categories don't have to be the same either. Here I've preloaded some of the data that we'll be working on and reviewing, which are the month, the category, and subcategories. So first, we wanted to be able to create a set using the subcategories to reference later on and to determine which subcategories are kept and which subcategories are going to be rolled up in other. And to make this happen, we want to right click on subcategories and create a set. And here you can either choose all the items you want to include, or you can copy and paste a custom list in, which is what I'm going to do. So here I took the top 2 items from each category from my last video. And what you can always do if you want a list of items is to first query it in Tableau, then copy the crosstab of it into an Excel file, and then just copy and paste into this list like I did. And to keep this video short, I've created all the calculated fields over here, and we'll just go over what each one does. So in the subcategory plus other, we can take a look at the edit, and this is essentially a calculated field that shows the categories in our set, and if it's not in our set, it will show others. So if subcategory is in set, then subcategory, or else other. And to see what this outputs, we can drag this over to rows and take a look where the items within our set are kept, and then everything else is put into others. And as you can see in the office supplies, there's 3 subcategories that are showing, and this is just to show that the distribution between each category doesn't have to be the same. And next, for our sales in other, we can take a look at what this is, which is essentially if the subcategory is in our set, then we don't want to roll up that value and combine it to the others. So then it would be 0, or else we would just want the sum of the sales. So we do want to include it in our others. And this attribute function just essentially returns the Boolean value in each of the different subcategory groups because they will be the same within that group, and allows us to have an aggregated comparison for this calculated field. We can show what this outputs, and as you can see, all the other subcategories have a value, whereas the ones in our set do not, because they're not going to be rolled up. And there's a similar logic in our total sales, which is if that subcategory is within our set, then we would just want to sum that value, or else we would want to do a window sum for all the other values. And we can take a look at what that outputs. And as you can see, these numbers look really weird because currently it's computing using the whole table, but what we want to do is compute using the subcategories. And now you can see that this value here is the sum of the 2 values that weren't in our list. The showing fixed subcategory and others calculated field allows us to show the subcategories we want to see based off of the rankings of the sales in other. So I will just show you the result first. and currently it's just showing 1 because we're not computing using the subcategories. But when we do compute using the subcategories, we get our expected result. To see how this filter works, we can drag this to the rows because it will just display the rankings. And this works because the items that were part of our set will be the only ranking when the sales and others calculated field processes. So it will always have a ranking of 1, while the subcategory items that were classified as other will contain multiple items. So they can have rankings from 1 to the amount of other subcategories. And as you can see that here, everything that was in our set will have a ranking of 1, whereas only the top or the highest sales in other will have a ranking of 1, while everything else will be incremented. I will now clean up this worksheet so that it has the same output as the thumbnail by dragging the ranking back to a filter and choosing the ones where it's only 1 and removing the sales in other. So thank you for watching, and I hope this video was useful for you.